You're forming a clearer idea of what the midterms will look like this November after multiple states held key primary elections last night. In Indiana, President Trump won big. The AP projects 5 incumbent Republican state senators will lose their primaries to candidates that the president endorsed. However, State Senator Greg Good pulled off a win over Trump-backed challenger. And State Senator Spencer Derry's bid to keep his seat remains too close to call at the moment. In Ohio, CBS News projects former presidential candidate and Trump ally Vivek Ramaswamy won the Republican nomination for governor. He is set to run against Amy Acton, who was unopposed in the Democratic gubernatorial primary. And one contest in Michigan is already all wrapped up. The AP projects Chedrick Green will win a special election in the Bellwether district to secure his party's control of the state Senate. Let's bring in CBS News political director Fin Gomez to break it all down. Fin, so let's start in Indiana. What do these results mean for the president and Republicans as we look to the midterms?
As you said, Adriana, this was a big win for the president. But, this was also a retribution campaign by the president, and it worked. Remember the backstory here. In December, 21 Indiana Republican state senators broke with the president and killed his mid-decade redistricting efforts, a map that would have flipped 2 Democratic seats and padded the Republicans' razor-thin House majority. Trump vowed payback, and last night he delivered. And the scale of the operation is what's really striking here, Adriana. These are normally pretty sleepy state legislative races. Not a lot of money is poured into these races. This time around, millions of dollars, some estimates as high as $9 to $12 million, poured into the efforts to defeat these 7 Indiana Republicans who dared to defy the president on this. A lot of the money came from outside groups like Club for Growth, Turning Point USA, and others. The Trump team, if you recall, began planning this blitz back earlier this year. So what does it mean for November? I think that's a key question here. 2 things. One, even with the president's national approval sagging on gas prices and the Iran war, his grip on the Republican primary electorate is intact. If you're a House or Senate Republican thinking about crossing him on a tough vote, I think the message from the Hoosier State was pretty clear here. There are consequences. And 2, the other thing to really watch, there's been a lot of efforts in some of these southern states led by Republican governors following that Supreme Court ruling on the voting rights. You could see because of this win last night, I think you see this will propel and amplify their efforts in those southern states like Alabama, Tennessee, and potentially South Carolina. Adriana.
So, Finn, how significant is a Democrat winning a state Senate seat in Michigan?
Yeah, we typically don't look a lot into these races, especially during a midterm cycle. You're looking at the congressional races, the Senate matchups, and so on, gubernatorials. But it's significant here for a couple of reasons. First, like Michigan is one of the premier battleground states in the country. So every election there gets really scrutinized for signs about the political environment, the climate heading into the midterms. Democrats not only held the seat, they also restored a majority in the state Senate. Had Chedrick Green lost, Republicans would have flipped that chamber, and it would have been essentially tied. So politically, it continues a broader trend we've seen since President Trump returned to the White House. Democrats consistently have been overperforming in special elections. We saw this in 2025 in some of the special elections this year, even in some of the closely divided districts or districts that he won by double digits. So that's something both parties are really reading the tea leaves following this win in Michigan for Democrats. Vlad.
Fin, what does this say, do you think? What does it indicate about what's going to happen in November? I mean, the president won big with his base, right, with Republicans. That's not a surprise. But we've also been reporting that Democrats have an edge in the midterms, as often the opposing party does. How does this all shake out, do we think?
I think right now, historically, remember, you still have those headwinds in these midterm cycles. There's only been 2 incidents over the past 40 years or so where we've seen that the party that does not control the White House win seats in these midterm elections. Excuse me, the party that does control the White House win seats in these midterm election cycles. And those are happening because of really specific incidents. It's like back in 2022, that was right after 9/11. So the Republicans did win in that election. This time around, you're seeing a really really tough climate for Republicans still. Democrats have really showed that overperformance in some of these elections. Democrats still feel very bullish about their chances. Republicans say, hold on, we're pushing on some key issues that we think matter, like the economy. They think they can turn it back around, and some of the culture war issues, as well as immigration and other issues that they feel can help really boost their efforts heading into November. But right now, it really is seeing like that it'll be a pretty tough uphill climb in many of these races for Republicans, considering the historic headwinds and the polling that we have seen. Adriana.
All right, Fin Gomez with the political analysis. We always appreciate it, friend. Thank you.
Appreciate you guys.